All right, Andrew Schulz.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Vlad TV.
We're back, baby.
We back.
My fucking posture. I'm going to do my best to stand up straight this whole interview.
Okay.
Or sit down straight, whatever.
Sit down straight. Okay, so have you heard Drake's new album?
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's all right.
It's all right?
Should be half as long.
Should be half as long?
Yeah. If it was 10 songs, it would be hot.
Okay.
But it's 20 songs. And, you know, I come from a different generation where, like, you know, a hot album, the whole album is hot. It doesn't have,
Right.
you know, a few songs that are hot. And I think a lot of the younger kids that really love the album come from a generation where if there's 3 hot tracks, then the album is fire.
Right.
But if you listen to, I mean, an old anything, you know, just like, shit, Illmatic, Stillmatic, it was written, like, you know, these types of albums were just not front to back. There would be a couple songs that were eh.
Illmatic was fire from front to back.
Okay, but even you could even have a conversation with some people that would say, okay, this song and that song were okay, you know, and which fine. You're gonna get 8 hot songs, and there's probably 8 hot songs on Views, but it's 20 songs long.
Yeah.
It's like a buffet. I'm only eating 4 of the things.
Right.
You know what I mean? So just don't give me. I'm not gonna pay $60 for the buffet. I'll pay $30 for the 4 things.
Right.
So
just skip the buffet altogether. Just order off the menu.
A la carte.
A la carte.
Give me that Views a la carte.
Views
okay?
a la carte.
I want to say this though. I feel it's important to mention that he has probably 10 hot songs on it.
Okay.
Because we shit on people's art without even considering how vulnerable it is to put out art.
Yeah.
Like putting work, like I do stand-up, right?
Yeah.
When I'm doing a stand-up show and let's say some people don't laugh, I can react to that in the moment. That's a liberty I have. When you put out a song, that's it, bro. If people hate that shit, they just say it. There's nothing you could do to that song in the moment to change that.
Right.
So I have a lot of respect to anybody who puts out art. You know, maybe I'm not the biggest fan of all the songs on it, but I understand the vulnerability that goes into that shit.
Right, but I mean, when you're performing the songs, you get the feedback.
Sure.
You know, and I mean, for example, we put out clips. I mean, that's art in and of itself.
Sure.
Like, you know, our interviewing is an art.
Yeah.
So, you know, we put out our interviews and people say that I suck and I need to stop. And
Yeah, but that's the internet, bro. You're trusted in people who comment on the internet, like.
Right. Everyone hates
Have
everything.
you ever been inclined to comment on the internet? Have you ever been
Sometimes.
I've never like ate at a restaurant and be like, I'm gonna give this a Yelp review. I need to go on Yelp and give this 2 stars or 4 stars. Like, no, I eat, I go take a shit. That's how my process is with food. It's never, you know what I mean? I mean, it is what it is. Watch the videos, but.
So what do you think about, you know, a lot of reggae artists? Well, one reggae artist in particular, Mr. Vegas, had called out Drake, you know, for basically taking a bunch of reggae shit for the Views album and not really giving credit back to the artists that contributed to it.
Look, I'm all about credit, but when it comes to cultural appropriation, I don't even believe that that's a thing.
No?
There's no such thing as cultural appropriation. My buddy said this best, David Wynn, shout out to David Wynn, it's cool appropriation. We appropriate what's cool, right?
Okay.
Like Wu-Tang Clan appropriated Asian martial art culture, right?
Okay.
They didn't appropriate violin lessons on a Saturday. That would be cultural appropriation if you took the entire culture. Raekwon, time to play your violin. No more rapping, we need some violin. That would be if you took
cello.
the culture. Exactly,
Right.
right? They're not taking a whole culture, we're taking what's cool, and that's what we do. We see things that are cool, and we adopt it. I'm sure reggae artists have done that with other art forms. I mean, if you look at the Caribbean, it's this mishmash of cultures, right? You look at the food itself. The fact that a guy who's into reggae could talk about cultural appropriation, when you look at curry, where does curry come from? India, right? And there is a huge Indian influence in the Caribbean. So
Absolutely.
Does every time a reggae guy eats some oxtail have to go, we want to thank the Indians for the curry and the dressings for making the food so delicious, and then eat it? No, he just eats it and goes, this is delicious. So we could get on board with thanking everybody who's ever done anything. Who made these lights that we're using right now? Who invented a camera? Should we start off the interview by thanking those people? Or why don't we just do whatever the fuck we want to do and have people who stop trying to cry for attention? It's always people who have nothing that cry about cultural appropriation, by the way. I just want to point that out. Nobody who makes real money or has something and gets credit is out there going, I need my credit for cultural appropriation. Because they got something already. It's broke people shit.
So if Mr. Vegas was going triple platinum every time that he dropped an album, that he wouldn't be talking about Drake right now.
Of course not. Why would he care? Why would he care about Drake if he's going triple platinum? When you got everything you need, you're not searching for it from other people. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like anything. It's like a beautiful woman posts half naked on Instagram. If you were already feeling good about yourself inside, you wouldn't be exposing your whole body, vagina, lips, titties with the piercings on Instagram for other people to tell you should be full with likes. I'm a stand-up comedian. I know what it's like to want acceptance. This is what I do. You know what I mean? I'm familiar with the art of acceptance, and I can see it. And I just think that the cultural appropriation is so silly. We take culture that we find cool. We take things, not even culture, things that we find cool.
Okay.
Anything that's cool, we gravitate to. Kanye West.
Okay.
Could arguably be the greatest cultural appropriator of all time.
Really? Why is that?
He wore a kilt. My people are Scottish. The Scottish people weren't, we need credit for your kilt, Kanye. We need credit. We've even discussed this before. In terms of cultural appropriation. Like, Kanye first, when he started wearing, like all the polo and all like the waspy cultures. Yeah. Like as a kid who grew up here in New York and saw kids from Connecticut come down and wear, their lobster shorts and their salmon shirts. When I saw Kanye do that, I wasn't thinking he was a style revolutionary. I was like, oh yeah, he's just doing what the kids from Greenwich, Connecticut do. Okay, right. That's cool.
Right.
I didn't call, hey, Philip, Kanye's stealing your stuff. You might want to ask for some credit. Who cares?
So you feel the people who are upset about that are the people who don't have much themselves and they're bitter? This is what you're saying?
I think so, or something. It's like people who are trying to own something. It's like when gang members fight over territory that they rent. Do you know what I mean? It's like these people like, this is our territory. Is it? Because I think you leased this.
Right.
I think you leased this.
Right.
So it's the same thing. It's like if you really owned the block, then nobody would sell drugs on your block because it'd be your block, and then nobody could go on it.
Right.
It's called a gated community.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if you really want to own the block, just buy it.
Right.
You don't even have to kill anybody anymore.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's gangbanging in gated communities.
That's my point. You don't need to. But if there are other gated communities coming over, they'd be like, listen, bro, you don't have a key card, you can't get in.
Right, trying to expand their gates, saying like, change the locks on your gate. Like, for example, like, what'd you think of Justin Bieber when he had dreads?
Do whatever you want, dude. First of all, dreads, the idea that dreads are only a black thing is preposterous. Go watch the movie Braveheart. Everybody before shampoo had dreads. That's what hair was. When you don't wash your hair, it turns into dreads. You ever see white homeless people? What do they have? High top fades? What do they have? Comb overs like my haircut? Is that what white homeless people? No, they have fucking matted hair. That's what it is. Does it look better on black people? Absolutely. Absolutely. I do not deny the fact that black people look 10 times better with dreads. But to get into a cultural appropriation battle, silliness. Furthermore, the resurgence of dreads come from who?
The resurgence of dreads?
Yeah. Which reggae artist popularized dreads and made dreads?
Which reggae artist?
Yeah, popular in today. Probably
Bob Marley.
Bob Marley.
Right.
Now, Bob Marley is half what?
White.
There we go. So, it takes both of us to make dreads popular. That's all I'm saying.
He was half white, but he clearly identified as black.
Well, he identified as Rastafarian, which we don't even know if that had anything to do with his culture. He might have appropriated Rastafarian culture, when you think about it.
Rastafarian is what, Ethiopian?
Yes, Ethiopian, but it exists in Jamaica. Actually, I can't even tell you exactly.
Well, it was based on Haile Selassie, who was the emperor of Ethiopia.
But I think the actual culture is
Jamaican.
Idiosyncratic, to use a big word, to Jamaica.
Okay.
Though they do treat Selassie as their deity or whatever.
Right.
So, but my point is that like, if he wasn't raised in that, his mom didn't raise him in that, and he just found this at a later date, you could argue that he appropriated it.
There's white Rastas out there.
Yeah, they're not...
and they usually have dreadlocks.
And they have dreadlocks. So
right.
If the Rastas are okay with people embracing this part of their culture, Who are you who's not even a Rasta to be upset at Justin?
Right. But notice how it didn't last a long time. Notice how, like, he had the dreads.
Yeah.
And I feel like the amount of backlash he got over the dreads
Yeah.
made him, like, cut off all his hair. And if you think about it, Justin was always kind of known for the hair. He was, like, the hair guy.
Yeah.
You know, he always had, like, the flip over, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it was, like, now he has, like, a shaved head. It looks kind of weird.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really care about Justin Bieber's hair, to be honest with you.
No.
I like the music.
Yeah, you like the music?
Yeah, I got 4 songs downloaded on my
Sorry.
Apple. I got Sorry, Love Yourself. I got March Madness by Future, and then Alessia Cara has a song. I have horrible taste in music, by the way. Top 40.
Right.
Like, I'm not any new artists. I'm the last person to find out about it.
Okay, yeah. For a second there, I thought you know that Justin Bieber had a song called March Madness or
No,
a remix or something.
That shit would probably be hot though.
Justin's actually on the remix of One Dance for Drake.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. Canadians unite.
Speaking of Drake, did you see the girl fight at his pool party?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I saw video clips of it.
Yeah.
You know.
What'd you think?
I mean, underwhelming. You know, I thought
Was it like a titty pop out or something?
maybe, but I could look at titties on the internet if I want to.
This is true.
You know, if you're looking at that video for titties while you have your web browser in front of you, you're a fucking idiot.
But usually when you see titties, they're not fighting each other.
Oh, so you like aggression with titties?
Well, I don't like. Hold on a second.
Okay, let's go.
That's not really my thing.
Let's go. Here come the YouTube comments. This motherfucker Vlad is crazy. He loves beating women.
Beating naked women.
Exactly. I mean, whenever I see women fighting, they end up naked.
Do they?
Yeah. You ever seen these like chick fights? They end up naked.
Every so often. But I mean, usually like the hair. It's like usually the grabbing of the hair is the first thing that happens.
First thing they go for is the hair. I mean, I think it's hilarious when women fight just because they're not used to getting punched. So when they get punched hard and they go to the ground, they're like still talking shit on the way to the ground because they don't conceptualize a knockout. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, I mean, it's harder for one woman to knock out another woman.
Are you saying that women aren't as strong as men, Vlad?
I'm absolutely saying
that. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, although, you know, there are women boxers and women UFC fighters that could, I'm sure, knock me out with one punch. But in general, women are definitely weaker than men.
Oh, I'll take my chances against a woman any day.
All day.
If I got to choose a man or a woman to fight.
Right. You would fight the woman?
Vagina. Give it. Let's go. In a second. Now, I don't believe in hitting women.
No?
But, no, not at all. I don't believe in hitting women.
You never hit a woman?
No. Never.
Never
I don't believe in putting my hands on women without my dick inside them. Like, if my dick is inside them, then I can choke them or, like, kind of, like, hold them.
Right.
But if they ask for me to slap, I don't really like that.
You don't like the slapping thing?
Nah, it's something about the contact. Like, I spank ass, I'll do that. But I'm not gonna, or slap a titty. I'm getting closer to the face. I won't hit you in the face, but
down right
it's getting close, bro.
It's
a
close.
shoulder. I'm gonna do one of these, like a, close your mouth.
So you've never had a woman hit you?
Every woman has hit me, yeah.
Really?
Women are allowed to hit you. It's just part of society.
You had a woman punch you?
Yeah, I'm sure. That's what they do.
You've been punched in the face by a woman?
Not in the face. You know, I got good head movement, you know. I've been out here a little bit. But yeah, I mean, you know, they do that and that's fine. That's okay.
You just walk away.
You're just not allowed to do it, you know?
Right.
Like, if a woman has a weapon, I'll hit her, but not if she doesn't have a weapon. If a woman is coming at me with a knife, I'll punch her right in her mouth. Right in her mouth.
Right in her mouth.
Right in her mouth. Without even, actually, I'll probably run because she has a knife. But if I have the opportunity where she, like, swings and she's wide open, 2-piece. Boom.
2-piece with a biscuit.
That's it. Maybe not the biscuit. The biscuit is a little much. You can't give a girl a biscuit. That's carbs.
So you had mentioned that there's actually different rules for cheating when it comes to men and women.
Yeah.
Explain that.
Well, no, there's not different rules. There are the same rules, but I just think it's silly when women cheat. I don't understand it.
What do you mean?
It's just that for what? Like, you're not going to come. Why would you cheat if you're not going to come? Like, what's the point?
What do you mean?
Like, women aren't designed for infidelity. Like, they come when they're emotionally connected to somebody, right? That's when they have their orgasms. It's way easier, I should say, rather, for a woman to have an orgasm when she has an emotional connection, right?
Depends on the woman.
I mean, it depends on, okay, so we have like 1 out of every 1,000 women can, hump this fucking light stand and get an orgasm. But I can fuck a corner in the wall. I can fuck a sofa. I can fuck a teddy bear. I can fuck anything and get an orgasm. I'm designed for it.
Armpit.
I'm built for this shit. Like, This is what we're about, is getting nuts off, right? Women are not about that because the opportunity cost of sex is too high. If you fuck people as a woman, you could get pregnant. Mm-hmm. So you gotta be a little bit more picky because you could get pregnant. You know what I'm saying? Me, I could get a girl pregnant, but I'm not gonna carry that baby for 9 months. So my brain looks at that situation differently. I'm just talking from like a biological standpoint.
Okay, but you could be Fetty Wap, get like 20 girls pregnant at the same time.
Sure.
And, even though biologically you don't have to carry these children, financially you're going to have to carry those children.
Yeah, because in the last 100 years we decided that's the case.
Okay.
But our brains haven't caught up to child support. You think evolution knows about child support? There's no part of evolution that's like giving me a thumb and then going, hey, don't fuck random bitches because you got to pay for it. It just gets your nut off, right? Like, that's how our brains are thinking. I'm just saying why men are inclined to do it. First of all, yeah, I just think, okay, the way men are irrational in the decisions we make with our penis, women are irrational in the decisions they make with their heart.
Okay.
Right?
Give me an example.
So, like, I can, see a girl walking down the street, and then I just go, I want to fuck that girl. And if she just walks up to me and goes, you want to fuck me? And I go, absolutely, I want to fuck you. Right? And a woman can fall in love with a guy that is completely wrong for her. A guy's a fucking heroin addict, robs banks, fucking shoots up schools, like does everything that's wrong, but fall in love with that guy and be like, I can change him. I can fix the situation. I love him. He's going to get better. We don't do that. How many of your friends do you know, or how many guys in general do you know visit their wife in jail?
Papoose did.
Besides Papoose.
Outside of Papoose, I don't know anyone who had a girl in jail.
Exactly!
But...
Because we don't fuck girls that go to jail a lot. Right? You remember last year when that guy had the mugshot that was sexy? And then every girl's like, I want to fuck this guy. The guy who's in jail for weapons charges? What is going on right now?
Right.
So we don't do that shit. We're not visiting our girl in jail. Shout out to Papoose for doing that. That is dope, man.
I interviewed Papoose, and we talked about, because at the time Remy was still locked up, right? And he's like...
When I go to Rikers Island to visit my homies on the visiting floor, it's full of females with little kids. It's packed. When I go upstate to visit Rim, the visiting floor is deserted. There's nobody even visiting them, you know what I'm saying? So that's the only reason why it's rare, because dudes don't support them. You always hear dudes complaining, yo, when you get locked up, fuck a bitch don't hold you down. But it's a penitentiary full of women, and nobody do nothing for them.
Yeah.
Real talk. So, that's what that is. It's real interesting, too.
It is. It's kind of tragic, really.
Yeah, you think about it, dudes always condemning the females for not holding them down, but y'all not holding them down when they come in these situations, because the penitentiary in the female prison is crowded. It's not empty. You know what I'm saying?
So it's literally like no one there.
Nah, man, you might see a mother, a grandmother. It's a handful of dudes that support them. You know what I mean? We all know each other.
I got a buddy of mine right now doing 15 years, and he's married. He got married after he went to jail.
Right.
That's amazing.
You actually hear of guys who get locked up
and get married.
Well, they get married and they have side chicks also. And sometimes they'll come visit on the same day and all hell will break loose.
I mean, this is crazy. Was it Charles Manson had a girlfriend?
Right.
That he was trying to marry. Like, this is...
I think he did get married.
Nah, but then they found out it was it was some setup or some shit like that. But what I'm saying is dudes in jail are getting pussy, kind of.
Well, I mean, they have conjugal visits, right?
Yeah, they get or trailers they call them as well. You spend like a weekend in a trailer.
Oh, yeah.
Which is amazing.
That must be the best shit ever.
You should. Actually, that's one of the things I think about jails. I think that it should be a mandatory jerk off before breakfast. Yeah. Everybody should have to just get the testosterone out of their system. You're not going to stab somebody in the lunch line if you have nothing in your balls.
Really?
I'm not gonna stab somebody at any point in time.
Right.
Definitely.
You're just probably hungry at that point.
Yeah, I'm hungry. I'm tired. My hands are sore. I can't even hold on to the shank if I've been jerking my penis for the last 5-10 minutes. It's just no. Mandatory jerk-offs.
Mandatory jerk-offs. And that'll probably lower the violence level.
If you want it to be less violent in jail, but then you could argue that the violence in jail is what makes us not want to go to jail.
Well, I think being in a cage, period, doesn't make you want to be in a cage. I mean, you ever been locked up?
No, never been locked up.
Okay. I mean, I've spent weekends in
Really?
jail. Yeah, I mean, not a lot, and for dumb shit like
Yeah.
suspended licenses and stuff like that. But yeah, I remember the first time I got put, I got locked up and I got put in the precinct. I'm like, yo, hip hop's been lying to me. This sucks.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to brag about this like all these rappers been bragging about. Like, yeah, did 2 days in the precinct. Like, nah, like, I'm not.
I'm with you.
It's trash. And I remember, like, just the feeling, because what happens is when you get locked up, first of all, you get, like I was in Brooklyn, so you get locked up and first you go to the precinct. Mm-hmm. So you're actually at the local police station. And then afterwards you get sent to central bookings and then you get processed, you see a judge, and then you get out, right? But in the precinct, they actually didn't have toilets in the cells, right? So everyone kind of gets, thrown in this cell. I think there was maybe 7 or 8 of us at one point.
Yeah.
And there's no bathroom. So every so often I'd have to ask the police officer if I could use the bathroom, and he'd have to escort me to the toilet. And it was like, I've never experienced this in my life. Well, I mean, I guess maybe in school you kind of experience, but then you go to the bathroom by yourself. Like, can I go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
Usually like wait till lunch. You know what I mean? But it's like, for the first time that I could remember, I had to ask another man if I could take a piss.
Yeah, no, that's
and it was
fucked up.
really like, I'm never coming back here. This is some bullshit.
And then you went back.
No, I didn't go back.
Oh,
I didn't go back yet. So you had mentioned that now that Kylie is 18, that she's not that hot anymore.
No. I think that she's not as hot just because I think there's been a lot more surgery. But, I mean, she's still a very attractive girl. I think she's an attractive girl. Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, I think she's an attractive girl. I think, to be honest, what takes away from her hotness is so many other girls look like her now. I think there's an aspect to beauty which is like uniqueness, right? It's like, this girl is unique.
Kim Kardashian was unique when she came out.
Pamela Anderson was unique when she came. Like, these people had unique, it was like this skinny little body with the huge boobs, right? Kim Kardashian, like, is she Latina? Is she white? What is this look that she has? Great facial features. And I think every girl is trying to look like Kylie. And Kylie's profiting off of it. She's selling, how to make your lips look like my lips and all these things. So get your money. But I think it takes away a little bit from how special you are. Like, if every rapper comes out and starts rapping like Future, right?
Which is happening.
Which might be happening. All of a sudden, Future doesn't have this unique sound.
There's no might be about it, but go on.
Whatever. I mean, say what you want, all I'm saying is there is something.
You don't think Designer sounds like Future?
Of course he sounds like Future. Absolutely.
He completely sounds like Future.
Who do you think is a better rapper, Designer or Future?
Future.
Best Future song versus best Designer song. Who do you think is better?
Panda?
Panda.
Panda, I think, is nonsensical.
Yeah, but how often whenever I hear anybody say Panda, in my head I go Panda. You can't say Panda without me giving you 2 more Pandas.
2 more Pandas?
Panda is I fuck with that shit. And the energy.
Credit cards is good. I mean, it was okay. It was okay. I mean, but neither one of these guys are lyricists, so it's kind of like, you can't even like compare those 2 things.
Future's gift is his voice as an instrument.
Right. Yeah. He's melodic in what he does, but it's not like, yo, did you hear what Future said in that one verse?
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah.
Future Rakim, I can't decide.
No,
you know?
Yeah. But the reality of the matter is that melody means more than lyrics.
Right. I mean, look at Young Thug.
To you and I
have no idea.
Of course. But it's like, to you and I might, we grew up maybe, where are you from, LA or New York?
I grew up in the Bay.
You grew up in the Bay. Okay, so I don't know if people are super like lyrical out there. E40 is the Capitan of nonsensical.
E40?
He's just making lyrics up. What's up, Weeple?
He makes slang up.
Whatever. So, point is, I feel like, I grew up in this New York rap where it's like, oh, you got to be nice lyrically. That's how you show that you're nice. But I'll be honest with you, if the melody's got to be there first for me to really fuck with it. The melody is really what I think attracts us to a song. And if the melody is right, then we listen to it. Plain and simple.
This has always been the interesting argument with Nas, right? And everyone came down on me because I said Nas only had one classic album, which is Illmatic.
No.
That's my opinion.
Illmatic, Stillmatic?
Illmatic, that's it.
You don't think Stillmatic is
Stillmatic is cool. It's not a classic album.
It was
It's
written.
Illmatic. It was cool. It wasn't Illmatic.
I agree with you that I am.
These are not. I'm not saying he had a bunch of whack albums. I never said that.
But I
what I'm
understand
saying
classic.
is he has one classic
Sure.
album. And to me, a classic album, and this is why I also said Michael Jackson only had one classic album.
That's preposterous.
Okay, so anyways.
That's silliness. Cut that out of this part of the
No,
interview,
no,
because
it's
some
still
people
totally
could have
same.
rode with you where he has only one classic album, but to say that Michael, bad Thriller off the wall, right there, bang, 3.
Thriller.
Obviously, Thriller the best, but you're comparing, look, this is what you're doing right now. You're taking the best pussy you ever had, right? Who's the best pussy? Like the best. Let's just say you fucked Kim Kardashian, right? Now there might be 2 other girls that are bartenders that you fucked that are 9s. They're not going to be as high as Kim, that's a 10, but they're only really 1 point away on the scale.
Right, but what if for you, if it ain't 10, you ain't fucking with it? See, that's how I look at life.
No.
Like with me, I've always been like, I mean, and even my career, like I've always looked at it like, if I cannot be the best in the world at something, I am going to leave it alone. Like, because I started out as a DJ, and as a DJ, I came into it thinking I'm going to be the best in the world, and I got Mixtape of the Year awards, and I got this, and I got that. But at one point, I realized that something, I'm never going to be as good as Kid Capri. Kid Capri is fucking phenomenal. When I watched Kid Capri, it made me choose a different career. And I've told Kid Capri this. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I went into the whole Vlad TV thing. And Vlad TV is, a top site. You know what I mean? Like for me, it's like if I can't get the 10, I ain't really fucking with it.
Even with pussy, you feel that way?
Yeah, I try to get the best, 10. 10. If you ain't going for the 10, you might hit it and quit it. But the return trips will only be for the 10s.
No, I only.
It won't be for the 9s or the 8s.
No, I wife.
Now maybe a man who's not at my caliber, who you know what I'm saying, might think differently.
Yeah.
If they get a 5, at least they fucking.
Yeah.
I just don't feel that way.
Well, I'll fuck 5s.
Right.
When it's just fucking, I'll fuck who's available.
Really?
I'll fuck who's. Yeah, I don't have standards.
You keep going back to 5?
Bro, standards are pussy. Standards? Get the fuck out of here. If it's a wife and I'm going to make children with this person, I want to give the kid the best opportunity to look beautiful.
Right.
I can't fuck a 3 and then it's me and a 3 and we make this gargoyle. I got to at least, out of selflessness, I can't make a kid with an ugly girl just for the child, not for me.
Right.
But when it comes to fucking, hell yeah.
And this is actually, I've actually been thinking about this recently, is that you could be broke, right? And you could be okay with being broke, but the reality is that most broke dudes have somewhat unattractive baby mamas, which in turn makes the kids
Think about the kid, bro.
not all that attractive. Or at least, two ugly people can make a beautiful child, but 2 beautiful people are much more likely to make a beautiful child.
And I'm only worried about the daughter. Like, I don't care if I have an ugly son. Like,
No?
a man is as attractive as he is successful. A woman is as attractive as she is attractive.
Yeah.
Listen, let me tell you something.
I see
Barbara
where you're going with this.
Corcoran is the most successful woman in the world. You ain't fucking Barbara Corcoran.
I don't even know who that is.
Exactly. You don't even know who she is, okay? You know some random Instagram model that got 200,000 followers.
But I bet you a lot of dudes would fuck Oprah.
Would they?
Yeah, they would.
If Oprah wasn't famous, what if you didn't know her? Oprah was just some woman that was incredibly successful, but you didn't even know who she was. They fuck Oprah?
And because she's a billionaire? Yep.
You fucking Betty White?
Betty White?
Yeah.
See, but I'm different though, is what I'm saying.
No, you're not. We all the same. We're gonna fuck this girl just to tell our boys we fuck her, but we're not wifing that motherfucker. There are 90-year-old oil tycoons that can have 20-year-old girls. Fucking heartbeat.
Right, but in general, most younger men will not fuck anyone 90-year-old, regardless of how attractive they are. There's not too many hot 90-year-olds.
That's what I'm saying. Is a 90-year-old dude has success, which defines his attractiveness.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, he's got money.
No male model. First of all, male models aren't even getting the baddest chicks.
You don't think so?
Successful dudes are getting the baddest chicks.
Oh, yeah? What about, I just interviewed Kevin Federline.
What about him?
Who is he fucking?
He's a male model?
I mean, he kind of was, yeah.
No, he wasn't. He was a backup dancer.
He was a dancer.
Yeah.
He was a dancer and he's doing commercials and stuff like that. But he looks like a male model.
But he's not a male model. Let's keep that very clear. He's not a male model at all. He's a choreographer. Okay, well, and
clearly, Britney Spears did not end up having children with this man because he had such an amazing career and a lot of money.
Yeah, but also women will fall in love with a man based on proximity. Like if you are a man and you are true to yourself and true to your manliness and you spend enough time with a woman, time plus proximity is love. The women can fall in love with you. It's literally a time thing, and that's your backup. How many people we know fuck their backup dancers? J-Lo, Britney, Christina Aguilera.
Christina Aguilera was
I'm pretty sure she was fucking one of her backup dancers. Yeah. Every one of these girls was fucking their backup dancer. And then we judge Bill Clinton for fucking his intern. That's his backup dancer. It's proximity. You know what I'm saying? I don't deny that. And Kevin could be a really charming dude. I don't know him, but
I just interviewed him. Cool dude.
Charming guy.
Yeah, charming
I'm sure
guy.
he is. And maybe he's he's a great dad. Maybe he exhibits a lot of qualities that worked out.
Yeah, he's got 6 kids.
So yeah, he clearly girls want to reproduce with him.
Procreate.
Yeah, procreate. I said recreate. I put reproduce and procreate together.
That'd be like cloning yourself. Or recreate. Okay, but going back to the music thing.
Yeah, but seriously, don't have standards, bro. That shit is.
Standards are whack.
Just fucking like what? What, you gonna not get head? You got standards for head?
I got standards. Period.
Man, get the fuck out of here.
Serious.
Dude, get your dick sucked by ugly girls. It's by far the best head you'll ever have in your entire life. But dude, no, stupid.
Stupid.
Just stupid.
Stupid head.
Yes, it's yes.
Okay.
It's like when a girl gets her pussy eaten by a guy with a little dick. That's the best head she's gonna ever get because he knows he got to make up for what he's working with.
Lack of dick, right?
Exactly. So
So you're saying dudes with big dicks probably don't eat pussy that well.
Every homeless person I know got a big dick.
What?
Every homeless person.
How do you know this?
Let me say, every homeless person. I'll be honest. Every homeless person I ever seen pee or pull their dick out on the subway or just walk down the street with their dick got a foot-long dick. Every single one of them got a croquet mallet. That's what it looks like. Just a baton. Why? Because when you got huge dick, you don't have the drive for success. It's the same thing as like a chick who's like super hot, perfect body, all this other shit. It's like, what, she gonna get a job? She gonna work at Sephora? No, she's just gonna do nothing.
Right.
Go on Instagram, take pictures.
So you're saying the dudes with big dicks end up being unsuccessful?
Absolutely.
Well, okay. You might be going somewhere with this because I interview a lot of porn stars, and I interview both male and female porn stars. And I remember as a kid, watching porn like in junior high and stuff like that. I was like, oh my god, being a male porn star must be the ultimate fucking job. You're getting paid to fuck the hottest chicks. And then once I actually got to know a lot of the male porn stars, most of them are pretty broke. They're not super happy. They're struggling, and
I would never want to be a male porn star.
Never?
I don't like fucking more than once in a day.
Really?
Fuck no.
I could fuck like 3, 4, 5 times in a day.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm not going away to war. Why are we fucking more than once in a day? I'll fuck tomorrow. Who are we competing against here? We just fucked. We're done with the fucking now. I'll fuck tomorrow or the next day after that. I don't need to fuck 4 times in a day for what?
So you're one and done.
One and done. And proud of it. I don't need this. Who am I trying to prove? What's going on here?
Might have a different sex drive.
If you want to fuck again, I'll hold my fingers like this and you can do all the fucking you want.
Oh, really?
That's it. Dude, one time. Why do we need to fuck all the... Who are we competing against? What's going on? I'm not dying.
Maybe some people just like fucking more than you do.
I'm not going to prison.
I mean, you might just have a low sex drive.
Probably. Shit. But my sex drive high until I get out the system.
And then it's done.
You know what it is? My sex drive is equivalent to my success ratio. I can't be fucking all day. I got work to do. I got to make myself somebody. If I'm fucking 10 times a day, I ain't working. I ain't writing jokes. I'm not doing Vlad interviews. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't have too high a sex drive so you could get shit done.
You know who really framed this perfectly?
Who's that?
Was Kanye when he said, "I don't know what's better, getting paid or getting laid. All I know is when I'm chasing one, the other's getting away. Boom.
Hey, I agree with Ye. In that aspect, I agree with Ye.
Okay. So let's get back to our original point.
What was our original point? Fuck that gorilla. What's the gorilla?
We were talking about how you're, when it comes to
Harambe.
music,
Yeah.
it's melody, right?
Yeah.
So I started talking about Nas.
Yeah.
And the thing about Nas is that everyone respects Nas as a lyricist and stuff like that, but what you keep hearing over and over again,
Beats are trash.
yeah, Nas has the worst beat selection.
Yeah.
It's so bad to the point where I think on 2 consecutive albums, both of his singles had the same beat. Hip Hop is Dead and Thief's Theme literally had the same beat.
Funny. I wonder if there's ego involved. To be honest, I wonder if Nas is going, hey, I'm an amazing rapper. What I do is rap, and I don't want anything to take any shine away from my rapping. It's like, when a girl gets married, her bridesmaids got to get bridesmaids dresses, and then they all look like dragons. They look disgusting in the bridesmaids dress. It's because she wants to be
the center of attention
and star of the wedding. So maybe he doesn't want a dope beat so that he's the star of the album.
That's ridiculous.
You can say it's ridiculous. I'm just saying.
Absolutely ridiculous. Because his first album, all the beats were amazing.
Yeah, but he didn't get to choose that shit. Like his first album, he has to take advice from producers. He has to
Large
listen
Professor,
to
I think, that was the executive producer.
execs. But once you become Nas, the famous rapper that doesn't have to listen to anybody, then you could choose your own beats, and then you choose 2 of the same beats for your singles in a
Exactly,
row.
and this is why Nas had only 1 classic album.
Now, I don't know if I'm gonna go that far because I think Stillmatic was dope. I really think Stillmatic was dope.
Were all the beats hot on Stillmatic?
If I'm honest with you, I can't really remember all the beats.
Exactly. All the beats were hot on Illmatic. And in fact, what actually made Illmatic so special was that was the first time in hip-hop that a rapper went and got all the hottest producers to all work on his album.
Yeah.
Up until that time, it would always be Eric B. and Rakim,
Yeah.
KRS-One and Scott LaRock, whoever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Marley Marl and whoever he was working with.
Sure.
Like, it would always be a rapper and a DJ/producer, and they put that album together. Nas was the first one to say, yo, I'm going to get Pete Rock. I'm going to get Q-Tip. I'm going to get Large Professor. I'm going to get DJ Premier. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to get these other dudes, and I'm going to put together the hottest album with all the hottest New York producers. You know, I'm going to, like, that had never been done before.
You're upset at Nas's albums having whack beats. I could tell.
Yeah.
You must have put money down. You must have had a bet about it.
No, I mean, I like Nas, but it just seems like...
I Am is going to be amazing. Just watch.
No, I mean, I'd buy his albums and I'd listen to it. I'd be disappointed. I'd be like, okay, yeah, this is cool, but this don't make no... Like, you pick this beat.
Sure.
You know, and that's the thing. Like, Nas doesn't have good beat selection.
It's
and that's what takes away from the artistry, the final product.
It's like anything in life is like you have to move towards your expertise, and then you have to hire people who can gravitate around their expertise.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm making a film and I want to direct a film, I'm going to direct it. I'm going to get the best cinematographer I know. I'm not going to get some bullshit cinematographer. I'm going to get the best one. I'm going to get the best actors. I'm going to get the best sound guy. I'm going to get the best of the best to work on my project. And then the project ends up being the best.
Right.
And if you're a rapper, or if I was a rapper, I would do the same thing. I'm going to get the best beats. Right. I'm going to get the best sound mixing dude. I'm going to get the best, singers for the hooks. Like, I'm not going to go, I need all the credit.
Yeah. I mean, and I actually just interviewed Bow Wow. And one of the things that we talked about was that he really, his first albums, few albums were going multi-platinum because he had such a great chemistry with Jermaine Dupri. For some reason, this always stuck in my head in terms of like how I do business. And he said, when you have a certain amount of success with somebody, you should stick with that person. Because a lot of people start to think that their success is their own success, when the reality is it's the success of a team or of the group.
Right.
And he made a mention of like, well, you see that Bow Wow's not doing the numbers that he was doing while he was with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And it was like, I remember it really stuck to me. It was kind of like, okay, it's really easy to think it's all you. and to kind of get beside yourself and not give the people who made this point in your life a reality.
Right on.
So after you dropped that album and it didn't do the multi-platinum, did you and Jermaine start to talk after that?
Yeah, I remember driving, it was All-Star Weekend out here in LA, and I was here, of course, I was performing and doing like a million other things, and I was in a real dark place. I really didn't want to rap anymore. It wasn't fun. I really didn't care about it. And I just said, and Sony was coming to me like, it's time to work on the next album. And I told him, I said, listen, if it's not with Jermaine, I can't do it. I quit. Like, I just won't fucking ever go to the studio ever again in life. Like, I just don't want to do it unless he's a part of it. Y'all have to find a way to make this man a part of my album. He needs to executive produce my album.
Okay.
And I got on the phone with him. I called him. I said, where you at? He was like, I'm in Malibu. He had a house in Malibu at the time. And I drove out to him and Janet's house. I drove out there. And I remember just sitting in the living room crying. Just crying to him. I couldn't even hold it in no more. Like, just telling him, like, dog, like, this shit is fucked up, man. Like, how, me being young, I didn't understand the business. I always thought you was gonna be there for me. Like, you was like a father I never had, a big brother. Like, I felt like you fucking left me, bro. Like, you ain't have no artist, so nowhere close to what I done for you. Your biggest artist, yours. And I feel like you left me for stuck. I feel like you didn't teach, you feel like I was too young to get the knowledge from you of what was going on and why we split. And I feel like you backdoored me and went around and you told my mom and kind of kept me out of the loop and shit. And we just got it all out right there. And I told him, I said, look, dog, I'm not doing this next album unless it's with you. And we left that Malibu house, went back to Atlanta, and I'll be goddamn.
Yeah, it's like a boxing. It's like a boxer. The second he loses, he always drops his coach. And it's like, maybe it's not your coach. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe it's you.
Maybe it's you. Stick with the coach. He knows what to do. And then eventually 5 fights later, he loses another fight. And what does he do? Goes back to his original coach.
Yeah, exactly.
You're looking for someone else to blame. Nobody wants to blame themselves.
Derek Fisher
Yes.
has just recently announced that he has to pay $109,000 per month in child/spousal support
For who?
for his ex-wife and kids.
He had kids with his ex-wife?
Yes, I think like 4.
I thought that he adopted his sister's kid or something like that.
They had 4 kids together.
This is...
I think like there was like twins and then 2 other kids.
and they were married?
Yes.
And did she get half in the divorce?
She got $109,000 a month.
But I need to know what else she got. That's because before I make a decision, I believe in if your wife raises your kids, they deserve half of your money. I believe in that because, and not if you have like a nanny doing all the work and she's not raising any of the kids at all, but if she's active in their lives, because that gives me the peace of mind that my kids are going to be okay while I'm out here hustling 80 hours a week.
Yeah.
Right? I will pay half of my money for peace of mind that my children have a loving parental figure in their lives.
Right.
That's a bargain. Just 50% is a bargain for that. So I'm okay with that. If she also had a job or she was on vacation or she's an absentee parent and I'm basically paying a nanny to raise our children and you want $110,000 a month afterwards, get the fuck out of here. You're out of your fucking mind.
I don't know what the breakdown is in terms of, are they co-parenting? Does she have 100% custody, which is usually not the case unless you're a drug addict criminal or something. You prove to the courts, she proves to the courts that you should not get to see your children at all. But this is an insane amount of money. Insane amount of money.
But it's your kid, bro. You're going to pay whatever for your kid.
I understand that paying for your kid. Here's the thing, like, because I interviewed Kevin Federline, right? And he became everyone's hero because at the time that him and Brittany were getting divorced, she was going through all that crazy shit. She was shaving her head and passing out naked in public and stuff like that. So he ended up getting full custody of the kids, at least for the time. Later on, they ended up getting co-custody, and he was actually awarded $15,000 a month in child support. And like every man was like, finally, this happens in reverse.
Sure, it was like
finally.
our OJ. You know what I mean? Like when OJ got off for black people, we're like, fuck. So that was Kevin Federline getting the money was like men's version of OJ. We're like, oh, we got some money. Fuck yeah.
Okay.
Sure. But it's your kid. You're going to do whatever. It's like, that's why I hate when these people are so upset about them shooting the gorilla. Like at the zoo. It's like, what do you...
Well, it's weird because I remember, like the other day I was watching the news in my hotel room and they were like, they shot the gorilla. There's such an outrage. And I hadn't seen the full video because it just showed like the kid kind of going up to the gorilla. And I'm like, okay, the gorilla ain't doing nothing. Like, why did they shoot the gorilla? But then they showed the other part of the video, which showed the gorilla dragging the kid through the water. And I'm like, I would have killed that gorilla.
Shoot the fucking gorilla.
Shoot the fucking gorilla.
It's not even a question. First of all, human life is worth more than animal life any day of the week. There's no such thing as animal life worth more than human life. You shoot the fucking gorilla in a heartbeat. If it's your kid, you shoot the fucking gorilla. Just shoot the fucking gorilla.
You're going to shoot a dog.
If I fall in the fucking pit, take them all out. Caesar, all his boys, take them out. I don't give a fuck. You have my permission to kill them all, and I'll gladly stand over their bodies. I'll stand over their bodies like, I'm glad that this has happened and that we can live to talk another day. I really mean that.
Why do you think this is such an outrage? Because once I saw the video, I'm like,
I'll tell you exactly.
This gorilla is dragging a 3-year-old boy, which is, I don't know if you've been around.
I don't care if the gorilla came up to the boy and gave him a banana. Shoot the fucking gorilla. And peeled it and handed it over to him. The second the kid got the banana, shoot the fucking gorilla. I really mean that down to my heart. This is the problem. Social media, and this is why we can't trust social media. All social media is a vehicle for acceptance. Right? So I will post a picture on Instagram that makes me look better than I look so people accept me. I will say things on Twitter that are different than how I actually feel that make me look like a better person so people accept me.
Right.
I will Snapchat a life that I don't really live so people will accept me. So when it comes to this gorilla thing, there was a perfect opportunity for acceptance. Hey, if I show how much I pretend to give a fuck about animals, people will accept me. Here's the thing that got me really pissed off about it. Fuck the animal for a sec like that. When they started attacking the parents.
Right.
Here's a horrible...
Right.
You're a horrible parent.
The father has a long criminal record.
Well, before that, no, this is very, we're going to get there. This is very interesting, right? The first, they start attacking the parents. What awful fucking parents. How dare you? What, these parents are pieces of shit. The parents were at the zoo with their kid.
Right.
I don't know many deadbeat parents that take their kid on field day excursions, okay? Right. My parents were phenomenal parents. We went to the zoo one time.
Right.
Okay? One time. And they never let me get close enough where I could fall into the gorilla. So I respect the parents for even giving the freedom for that kid.
Okay.
Second of all, when initially it came out, the Twitter reaction was this. This is so funny about Twitter. Was, here you go, white parents. Let your kids do whatever you want. Why don't you put a leash on the kids, white parents? White parents, what the hell is wrong with you, white parents? What the hell is wrong with you? White parents are just crazy. Why don't you actually take care of your kids? This is why your kids shoot up schools. You just let them do whatever you want. 2 days later, it turns out the parents are black. Immediately, Twitter goes, kids are hard to take care of. You know what I mean? It's tough out here. These kids are rambunctious. They're wild. They're eating sugar all day, so they're running around. I mean, you don't understand the struggles of a parent. It's like, you phony motherfuckers. You phony motherfuckers. That's the thing. That's why you can't take that shit seriously.
Yeah, and the fact that they started highlighting the father's criminal record, and I don't think the father was even there.
Oh, he wasn't?
No, I don't think so. That was what makes it interesting. And there was so much, because I'm sitting there in my hotel room, right? And I don't usually watch the news, but I'm like, okay, fuck it. Let me just have the TV on in the background.
Yeah.
And it's on every, like CNN, Fox, NBC. It's like, they're all covering this gorilla.
Yeah.
They all have the father and the mother. And it's like, wow, like this much attention highlighting the criminal record of the father who wasn't even at the zoo with the kid. Like, what does this have to do with anything? But it's, you know what I mean? Like, y'all need to put some more Vlad TV interviews up on Fox and stop putting this bullshit up. And it kept getting replayed and replayed and replayed. It was really insane.
And people will make a fucking issue out of it. They're going to it's just stop it. Nobody really cares about this fucking gorilla. Just no one really cares.
Right.
Because if you really cared about the gorilla, if you really cared about gorillas, you know what? You wouldn't go see him at the zoo.
Right.
I don't see you protesting the zoo.
Right.
Matter of fact, you might have helped a gorilla out by killing him. I bet the other gorillas were waiting for a kid to fall down so they could drag him through the water and get shot too. It's probably a shitty life. You're in a cage, like you were saying.
Right.
You know what I mean? And guess what? The zookeeper doesn't walk you to go take a pee, Vlad. You gotta pee where you live. That's what it's like being a gorilla. You gotta pee and take a shit right where you live, right in that stream, and then bask in it. That's probably what he was doing to the kid, is dragging his face to the stream, like, this is where I gotta pee and shit every day of my life. Okay? Now go tell your peoples to fix this.
Oh shit, they killed me.
Exactly. Done. That kid, though, for real talk, that kid to climb up the bars and crawl under the thing, he needs to be on American Ninja Warrior immediately.
Immediately.
Like, the next season, this kid got to be the star of American Ninja Warrior.
So recently, there was a whole Troy Ave shooting situation.
Yes.
You went on Twitter and you made some comments about it that a lot of people were upset about.
Oh, they were furious at me.
So, first of all, what exactly were the comments?
I started, I would say arguably quite loose. My comments were quite loose. I basically said, I was referencing, I don't know the exact tweet, but essentially I said, this person, there was a shooting here or whatever. Maybe you have it up. I don't know exactly. What is it? I said essentially, we could look it up, but essentially this doesn't happen at jazz shows. It doesn't happen at R&B shows. It doesn't happen at EDM shows. This is a rap thing. And
People get killed at other shows.
People get killed at other shows. And they has happened. I grew up in New York in the 90s, bro. The Tunnel was getting shot up every week. The Tunnel's a very classic hip-hop club. Jimmy's in the Bronx was getting shot up every single week. Right? It's like a lot of people who are maybe tweeting maybe didn't grow up where there was a strong hip-hop culture in their town and in their city. Like, I understand you might feel close to it because you listen to the music, but like, I don't know if in Maine you guys had like a real hip hop scene and real hip hop culture and real hip hop beef. Like I grew up with it just because by proximity, it was around us, right? So we would hear about these things. So
the Tunnel was definitely very violent.
Oh, dude,
it was. I mean, people like I remember talking to people how they would describe how 30% of the people would go there to enjoy, the performance and the shows, and 70% would go there to rob people.
Exactly. So there's like so many of those classic kind of like jokes about the Tunnel that only people, kind of New Yorkers who are even involved a little bit, would understand. I wasn't involved. I was too young to be going to the Tunnel. But this is, what you would hear, right? So it's not even like an argument. Do you know what I mean? Like, clearly, so basically what they thought I was saying is that Twitter thought I was saying is that rap music causes these things, which no, it does not cause these things. There's no one sole cause for violence. I mean, immediately after I tweeted that, everybody started tweeting about, but what about these people that die at EDM festivals? But what about these people that died at Kenny Chesney concert? But what about these people that die over here? And my response to that is, you're sounding very all lives matter. Because when I went on Fox News, and when I went on MTV, when I went on Brilliant Idiots podcast, went on all my platforms, and we're talking about the importance of Black Lives Matter, I said, listen, there are many different types of cancers. But when we're raising money for leukemia, you'd be an asshole if you came over and said, hey, what about breast cancer?
Yeah.
We need money too. Yes, you do need money too. But right now, we're focusing on leukemia and how we can help better that situation. And I went on, I'm the only person who went on Fox News and said that. Right? Mm-hmm. So that's me in support of Black Lives Matter. So when this happens, and I hear people who got Black Lives Matter in their Twitter description coming to me, what about Kenny Chesney? What about all these other murders? What about all this? And I'm like, yeah, people do get murdered. That happens in the world. But right now, there's a clear influence in gangster rap that is, I think, amongst more impressionable minds, influencing them to make some questionable decisions. I don't think that music can make you do anything, but I think some people are more impressionable than others, and they can be influenced by their idols. I mean, you're telling me that rappers and gangster rappers, I want to point that out. That's another thing that I was a little bit loose on at the beginning. I should have specifically said gangster. I'm not talking about Cole. I'm not talking about Kendrick. I'm not talking about Chance. I'm not talking about Ye. You know what I mean? Right. We're talking about the guys who are promoting killing, promoting murder, promoting drug dealing, promoting gangster life.
Okay.
Under the guise of, this is my story, when half of them are lying about their story anyway.
Okay, well, this was a T.I. concert.
Sure.
And T.I. is a rapper that definitely talks about that type of stuff.
Sure.
He's a trap.
Sure.
You could classify his stuff as trap.
Okay.
Troy Ave, same thing. You know, definitely is a gangster rapper.
Sure.
But these are the actual rappers that are doing it. It's not the fans.
Sure.
So how does what you're saying relate to this particular situation?
In terms of what?
I guess I'm just trying to understand why exactly you would say what you said based on this particular situation where someone got killed, 3 other people got shot, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, 3 other people got shot. I think that we have to be responsible. I think we have to take responsibility as influencers, right? Like when we, you know, if Trump is at a rally and saying, you know, if somebody's bothering us, you know, I've come from a time where you could punch him in the face. Yeah. We say that could incite violence, right? That's fucked up. He shouldn't do that. That could incite violence. But when a rapper who's way more influential says, look, if someone talks shit to you, put a gun in his mouth and shoot him.
Wait, a rapper is more influential than Trump?
Way more to what? How many kids you know that are doing shit because of Trump? I never did nothing because of a politician.
I mean, you actually see more violence at Trump rallies than you do at most rap concerts.
Define violence.
People get attacked at Trump rallies.
I think what you're talking about is protest. And
well, no, like people like you see like black people get punched by like Trump supporters and stuff like that. You've been seeing this
and
whole
vice
time.
versa. But I think what the common denominator here is not a rally for Trump, right? The common denominator is a protest, right? So if you want to compare protests to protests, I don't know how much violence would be there. But if you just want to talk about a rally that's only Trump supporters or only Hillary supporters or only Bernie supporters, they're there. There's nobody protesting that. I doubt there would be that much fight.
Fair enough.
So that's the important thing about framing. Right now with media, we can frame things like that to make it seem like this is the catalyst for the violence, when in reality it's just difference of opinion. I think difference of opinion a lot of times causes fights. Okay. My point is, I feel like you shouldn't stop. In no way should we stop gangster rap. I love gangster rap. That's the only rap I listen to. I don't listen to the preachy stuff. I'll be honest. I mean, I know Kendrick's a great rapper and Cole's. These guys are great rappers and all this. I don't listen to it.
Okay.
I listen to the gangster shit. I'm drawn to violence. As a human being, we're drawn to violence. I like watching Sopranos. I like watching The Wire. I like watching Homeland. We're drawn to these things. It's an innate instinct in our bodies that we crave this kind of stuff. It's very weird.
I agree.
We see a fight on the street. We don't walk away.
Right.
We take out our phone.
Yeah.
Right? That's our national instinct. But I also understand is when you get to a certain level, when you're famous, and you get to a certain level where you're an influencer to impressionable minds, you and I might not be that impressionable, but there might be some kids that are impressionable. We have to understand that we have somewhat responsibility in influencing how they might act.
Right.
While I feel like the streets and the culture of the streets has definitely created gangster rap, right? Mm-hmm. And you could absolutely, without a doubt, systemic oppression and racism in these areas have created the environment that produced gangster rap. I also think what we're seeing now is gangster rap influencing the way that things happen on the streets, in the streets level.
I agree.
So all I'm saying is that, which I think is undeniable, there is a negative influence with gangster rap.
You know, I remember I interviewed Alonzo. Like, did you ever see the NWA movie?
Yeah.
You know, the guy who ran the World Class Wrecking Crew? Remember the group that Dr. Dre and Yellow was part of before they joined NWA? Okay. The guy that was like with the shiny suits and all that stuff? Yeah. Right. And Dr. Dre and Yellow were part of the World Class Wrecking Crew, which was kind of more of an R&B type group. Sure. He signed Ice Cube when Ice Cube was like 14 years old, et cetera, et cetera. So I asked him about, you know, okay, NWA was influenced by gang lifestyle in LA, but do you think that once NWA became as popular as they did they in turn create more of a gang lifestyle, more of a gang culture in LA? And he said 100%.
When I first got into the club business, 1979, now first of all, gangs have been around forever in Los Angeles. Yeah. Gangs had different reasons for existence. Some gangs started off to fight white people. Some gangs were designed to fight the police in the community, because what we're experiencing right now is nothing new. It's just being televised more. So the ratio of gangbangers to civilians was minuscule in the early 70s and early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, okay? Right after NWA, now I've been in the club business all this time, and I stopped making records. Went back to my second career, which is nightclub owner. What happened was NWA and gangster rap made gangster lifestyle cool. So the ratio started to change. Everybody was a gangbanger. It used to be 5% gangbanger, okay? Because gangbangers, once upon a time, had a code. You just couldn't have a gun. You had to be able to fight. You had to have something to bring to the hood other than a pistol. Well, at some point in time, when the dope and the gangbanging became profitable, everybody became a gangbanger. So now you got 95% gangsters or 90% gangsters and 10% civilians.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And it didn't cause it. It wasn't the sole cause for that.
Right.
The reason. But it was an influencer. I mean, these people influence us to buy sneakers, right? Rappers or gangster rappers just are idols. Influence to buy sneakers, buy clothing, buy vodka, right? We literally stopped drinking Grey Goose and it was only Ciroc and Effin because our idols told us that's what we drink. So if you can get us to completely change our behavioral habits in those three ways, is it that preposterous to state that maybe you could influence us to handle things in a negative fashion as well?
Yeah.
I don't think that's that preposterous. I think what bothered people is that my skin color isn't really the right color to make a statement like that because people turned it into a race issue.
Right.
When to me, gangster rap is not a reflection of black people. Black people have offered, black Americans specifically, have offered American culture a lot more than just gangster rap, which is why I put jazz and R&B in the original tweet, because those are both two musical forms that do not in any way glorify the murder of people. Now, the fact that I say that, immediately the response is this guy is making an attack on black people. Not at all. Eminem's lyrics are just as negative as any rapper in the game.
Right.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
So for me, gangster rap represents gangster rap. It doesn't represent any notion of a race. It represents only the people that are going to do that. I wish from the beginning I had said gangster rap and not rap, because it seems like a little bit more of an attack on the umbrella that is rap. And there's a lot of, there's Christian rap. There's a lot of positive rap out there. And to be honest, a lot of the newer guys right now that are the most popular aren't even doing that gun talk.
Yeah.
So it is going in a positive direction, but I also think that it's important for us as influencers, you, myself, to understand what we put out there in the world.
What do you think about the Africa Bambaataa situation?
What's that? He allegedly raped some people or whatever?
I mean, a bunch of people have come forward and said that Africa Bambaataa molested them when they were younger. And then it got to the point where the Zulu Nation actually gave a statement saying that Africa Bambaataa is no longer part of this organization.
Wow.
And actually, there's a new article that I think we had posted today that actually apologized to the people who were allegedly victimized by Africa Bambaataa.
Wow. So
And this was the organization that Africa Bambaataa founded.
yeah, so there's admission of guilt.
Well, by the organization, to a certain degree.
And he molested people. Like how? Jared molested, or like how young are we talking?
Teenagers, and it was all boys.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Molestation,
Yeah.
molestation.
Yeah, you're
you
right.
know. But that is our mentality, though. It's like the fact that he molested boys, we think that that's worse in some way, because it's like he raped them.
No. I mean,
I
don't think it's worse. It's just kind of bringing up the gay element as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You take any child and you have any sort of relations, obviously against their will.
Sure.
It really, it's something that the entire world hates.
Yeah.
You know, like for example, I remember there was a story about there was a consortium with all these different countries that had to make decisions on what things they would allow on the internet, on their version of the internet.
Everyone agreed.
Well, and here's the thing, like for example, if you go to Brazil, and I've spent a lot of time in Brazil.
Yeah.
Bestiality is actually legal in Brazil.
Word.
There's actually I remember I walked by a sex store one day, and I'm like, oh, it's a girl wearing a fur coat. That wasn't a fur coat. It was like a dog. I was like, oh shit! Like you could actually have dog girl videos advertised in the front window in Brazil. They're okay with that. Hey, if it's okay with the girl, I guess it's okay with the dog. Like but the one thing that everyone was in agreement on was pedophilia was not to be tolerated.
Yeah.
Molesting kids was something that nobody's okay with. Now, granted, in certain countries, there's a different age of consent and stuff like that, but no one's going to say a 5-year-old is cool, a 10-year-old is cool.
Can we get back to bestiality for a second?
Okay.
What's the argument against it?
What do you mean?
Like, why is it? I don't understand the argument against bestiality.
The argument against bestiality?
Yeah.
Apart from what I feel is disgusting.
Yeah, it's gross, but so is shitting on someone's chest.
Number one, I don't know how safe it is.
You are legally allowed to have sex with someone who has HIV. That's not safe.
Well, you are legally required to tell them your status before you have sex.
I just don't understand. Like, I guess the argument is the animal can't consent, right?
Right.
I think that's the humanitarian argument.
Animal abuse.
It's animal abuse, but
Right.
You think horses want you to ride them? You don't think a horse is just galloping around like, I wish some dude would jump on my back and tell me where to go all day?
Right.
No. Like, nothing about animals in our culture is consensual. Animals are constantly just abused, right? They're basically slaves, and then we eat them. Well, that's what animals are here for. Unless it's a pet that we have in our household.
Right. Like my Rottweiler is not abused. She's treated like fucking royalty.
Sure, according to you, right? But maybe she just wants to get some dick, and you won't have any male Rottweilers around to fuck her. Matter of fact, is there anything more abusive than taking someone's balls off of their body? Like, how is it we can't fuck animals, but we could take away their ability to fuck? That is.
You're not taking away their ability to fuck. You're taking away their ability to recreate.
To recreate.
To procreate.
Yeah. It's like listen, animals can't recreate with other, well, they're not gonna have any desire to recreate if they have no balls.
I think you could still fuck. Well, no, I guess you're right. I guess if you cut your balls off, you become a eunuch.
Exactly.
And you're
Game
not,
of Thrones, you're not getting in. Right?
Yeah, I think they cut his dick
The
off,
maester
actually.
or something. I don't know. My point is, it's like we all just accept that you shouldn't fuck animals, right? But if you actually want to break it down to logistics, there's no real argument why you shouldn't be allowed to. But I can understand if we didn't use animals for anything in society and we just let them do whatever they want to do, this, that, the other. But I can't think of a solid argument why you shouldn't be able to let a horse fuck a girl. Now, here's the thing. I don't think you should be able to fuck the animal because we can't tell that that's consensual and that could be rape. But if a horse wants to fuck a chick, that's some tight pussy. Compared to a horse pussy? Bro, I could put my shoulder into a horse pussy. Human pussy for a horse? Right? Just have her shake her hair like that. He won't even know the difference. Have her put on some little white shoes. Put some Air Force Ones on. It'll look like a Budweiser horse.
Those Budweiser
exactly,
horses?
Yeah. The Clydesdale. Exactly. Put some Air Force One highs on. Have her shake her hair like that. The horse won't even know the difference.
Okay. So you're cool with women fucking horses and animals?
I'm not cool with it. I morally don't accept it. What I'm saying is I can't find an argument that is... I can't really think of an argument against it. If a horse wants to fuck the human, right? The human is there, and the human consents, and the horse... You can't make a horse's dick get hard. A horse's dick got to get hard by itself. The horse wants to fuck it, and the human is consensual. I personally think it's disgusting, but I can't tell you that it's animal abuse.
No?
Okay,
so what if a man... But here's the thing. Bestiality is both ways, right?
Yeah.
So what if a man fucks a female horse?
There's no... If there's no way to no, actually there are ways. If that horse is giving off signs of that she's in heat and she really wants to get fucked, if there's any way that we could categorize horniness for a woman, like we can categorize horniness for a man through the erection, right? Okay. So if there's a way to categorize the horniness,
so if the
horse is backing it up,
if the horse pussy gets wet, then you should be able to fuck it.
Hey, if the horse pussy's sopping. Right? Then mosey on down, yo. I mean, if that's what you're into.
It'd be kind of loose, you would think.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to fuck no horse, bro. And I fuck 5s. Okay, but what were we talking about?
African man body.
Oh yeah, what about him? He molested. Yeah, pedophilia is wrong. It's without a doubt wrong. It's just unnatural. And the argument that I hear for pedophilia is they can't control it. They were born this way. That's what they want to fuck. That's the argument where we should sympathize with it. And here's my reaction to that is suck it up. Not everybody gets to fuck what they want.
Right.
Like only a handful of humans get to fuck the humans that they desire. Like, I want to fuck Adriana Lima and Giselle. I don't fuck either of those girls.
Right.
But I don't ask for empathy and sympathy. I want to fuck them, but I can't. I'm not allowed to fuck them. Feel bad for me. It's just like, suck it up. If you want to have sex with little boys, find the most youngest looking legal person to that and fuck that. Tell me there's no Asian kid that's 18 that looks like he's 14 that you could fuck? It's just laziness. That's what it really is.
Right. I mean, you know, when I see men who are into these girls who look like little girls, I always look at them a little sideways.
Yeah, it's a little suspicious. People gave me shit when I said Kylie Jenner was attractive at 17. And what I explained to them is she doesn't look 17. She looks like she's 25 years old. I'm attracted to a 25-year-old looking person.
Right.
Ariana Grande is a 22 or 3-year-old girl that looks like she's 15.
Right.
If you're attracted to Ariana Grande, I think you're a pedophile because your brain isn't calculating age.
Yeah.
Your brain's not going, 1984, yeah, I can fuck her. Your brain is just looking at her and going, I want to fuck that. I do not look at Ariana Grande in any way and get aroused because she's a teenager.
Looks like a little girl, yeah.
Yeah, she's a tiny girl. She should be eating a Lunchable. She should not be fucking dudes yet.
Right.
So it's about a visual thing. The 18 number that we have, the 18 is legal, is just the number that we've agreed that, okay, most girls will be ready by 18.
Right.
18 basically means will allow men to manipulate you at this age. That's all 18 is.
It really does, because if you really think about, if you look at biologically, at the point that a woman has her period,
She's ready for sex.
she's biologically ready for sex.
Sure. And if you even furthermore, not even biologically, go to Canada, 16. Like that's what everybody was
Well,
like.
you go to the South, I think it's like 15.
I mean, there are parts of the country, but
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
You know, Jared from Subway, everybody was talking about, oh my God, he's such a monster. He was having sex with these 16-year-old girls. And it's like, have you gone to Europe? Everywhere, 16. Some places are 15. Canada is 16. This guy could still be the spokesperson for Subway everywhere in the world but America.
But America.
Right? So it's like, yes, we judge. And me personally, I'm not trying to fuck 16-year-old girls.
Right.
But the number is just at what age do we let grown men try to trick women out of pussy? Right? And as a government, they said, you should be able to
18.
handle your pussy by 18.
Right. It's usually, and I bet you it was fathers who had daughters.
Of course. I mean, it was up to fathers. It'd be 27.
Right.
I want you know what I mean?
40.
40. I want you. All right, fine. She's over the hill. Fuck her. I don't care.
Menopause, okay, you can fuck her now. She can't get pregnant.
Nut in her all you want.
So, you had actually compared MLK, Martin Luther King, to Jesus.
Yeah.
Explain that.
I think Martin Luther King is... Okay. I think Jesus, and I think that these... I should preface this by telling you I know nothing about religion. And I was raised with no religion whatsoever. Most people assume I'm Jewish because my last name's Schulz. I'm not Jewish. My dad is Catholic. My mom was like Protestant, but neither of them raised me religious at all. So I don't know shit about religion. But I have recognized that over the years there are these prophets, right? Mm-hmm. And you have different prophets come out. You had Jesus, you had Muhammad, you had a bunch of people that have come out. I really think prophets are just people that are so incredibly special for their time and so motivational and think so far outside the box and think so humanely. Like the same way that LeBron has this athletic talent, they have a humanitarian talent, right? And I think that if MLK was born in a time where we didn't have the access to science and access to kind of like knowledge that we do about the world,
Right.
we would absolutely consider him a prophet like Jesus. Like, and I think the same thing about Mandela. I think the same thing probably about Gandhi. It's just the time they were raised, we don't accept that prophets just pop up out of nowhere and speak for God. But if you listen to like the things that Martin Luther King Jr. says, I was raised on Martin Luther King Jr. Like, we listened to the speeches every Martin Luther King Jr. day. My dad made us sit down and do it. Like, he was revolutionary to my father in terms of like, kind of exposing him to the civil rights struggle and really, what was going on. So that was really important as far as my foundation being raised. And it's like, it's very hard when someone's hitting you to not hit back and to know that this person will actually, and the rest of the world will actually feel worse when you don't hit back, when you hug. You know what I mean? Like, if like that is to have the mental fortitude to understand that and execute that and get other people to execute that.
Yeah.
Right? When you saw dogs and being sicked on people who were just peacefully protesting and shooting them with water, that strikes a chord in human beings. And to have that understanding, like, is just, to me, it's prophetic, right? Like, again, I don't know anything about religion. I'm just saying we only get these special people every so often.
Right.
So from my understanding and the kind of reading that I've done about him, I feel like there's no difference between him and Jesus or any of these other guys.
So you compared him, Jesus, Gandhi, who else? Mandela. Mm-hmm. Now, who that's actually living would be put in that same category, according to you? Because, Mandela died not too long ago. Is there nobody?
I don't know if we have one right now, man. I mean, there's a lot of great people. Don't get me wrong. There's great people who really care, but like, prophets are a different species.
Obama?
You know who might be? Not Obama.
Not Obama? Why not Obama?
There's too much blood on his hands.
Okay.
There has to. I think Obama's a great guy. I think he's a great president. I really respect him as a human being, and I just find him just to be a really intriguing person, right? Mm-hmm. But as a president of a nation, of an empire, really, when you think of the United States, you got responsibility to murk dudes.
Right.
You know what I mean? When you got responsibility to murk motherfuckers, it's a different ball game.
Yeah, but Bin Laden had to go.
But you're agreeing on like drone strikes all over the place. And I'm not saying that these aren't the right things to do, but once you have that on your hands, it's hard to be put in that prophetic situation.
Yeah, MLK wasn't putting hits out on people he didn't like.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Right.
May put some hits out on some pussy.
Right.
But yeah, so I think, not Obama, I think, who might be close, to be honest with you, in a very different way? Elon Musk. And I just think that because he has, world-class intellect in like, not in terms of like gadgets and shit, but like understanding what the kind of world needs. And just like, Martin Luther King had world-class intellect in terms of like understanding what people need and how to motivate. So, and I think that some of the things that he's coming up with, the advancements in technology could bring us closer to a world peace, if you will. Like just the fact that he's willing to give away his technology, he's not trying to like hoard it and charge tons of money and do like a...
Oh, really?
Oh,
I own a Tesla. He's not giving away his shit.
He's giving away the technology. Anybody can... He gave away the patent for it.
For Tesla?
For Tesla. For the motor. I got to look it up exactly, but for the whatever motor, that kind of shit like that, he's saying anybody else can use it. We need to make this world less oil reliant.
Do you know how much a Tesla Model S costs?
How much?
It's like, depending on the model, anywhere from 80-something thousand to 150,000.
All right.
He's not giving the shit away.
I didn't say he's giving away the car. I'm saying the technology he could copyright, right? And make sure no one else could use it. And then all of a sudden these other car companies couldn't create gasless cars, right? But the fact that he's willing to give this stuff away means that other people can also create these types of cars, and then we can live in a less oil reliant
But
world.
there's been electric cars before before Tesla.
Look, I might be wrong. You know what I mean? I don't fucking know. I just see something kind of special in that guy.
No, I mean, he's dope. I mean, SpaceX is dope. Solar City is dope. I mean, he's even talking about revolutionizing the way factories are run by like tenfold and everything.
Sure.
I think he's great. And he risked billions of dollars of his personal fortune, to create this stuff. He's even talking about, I don't know if you heard about the, like the tube that'll take you from like LA to San Francisco in like 45 minutes.
45 minutes. Insane.
Yeah. And then go cross country.
Hyperloop, it's called.
Hyperloop, yeah, there you go. Like that type of shit. I think he's great, but...
Yeah, LA to San Francisco, 30 minutes.
Yeah, exactly, where it takes like 6 hours to drive.
And New York to LA in 45, which is even crazier. It goes so fast that it needs time to slow down. That's why there's only a 15-minute difference. Like, by the time it reaches top speed, New York to San Francisco, it has to slow down. Most of the trip is slowing down.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, this is some wild... It's just revolutionizing the world, man. Like,
yeah, I mean, I guess you can compare him to maybe an Einstein, but then again, Einstein was also responsible for creating the atom bomb, which Hiroshima wasn't.
Sure.
Would probably disagree with you. Sure. Japan would probably disagree with you.
But obviously. But then at the same time, you could say that. I mean, you might be able to argue that the atom bomb is actually the reason why we haven't been in World War. You could make an argument.
You could.
That the atom bomb is the reason why we have... I'm thinking about, we had World War I in 1910, 1911, something like that?
The 20s, yeah.
Was it 20s?
I think the 1920s.
Okay,
World War II was like in the 40s.
Yeah, but so that we're talking about 20 years in between world wars. We were back in another world war in fucking 20
in a generation.
In one generation. We didn't even raise new men to go to war yet. Actually, that's what we did. We literally came back from war, fucked. The second they were old enough to give them a gun, we went right back to World War. And we haven't had a world war since. We've had wars, don't get me wrong, we have had conflicts.
Had a lot of wars. And in fact, you could really say that we actually have had world wars. It's just that the superpowers would just wage them in smaller countries.
Right. So we do, yes, there's proxy wars. I agree with you. But proxy wars don't kill the same amount of people that world wars do. So you could argue that because we have nuclear weapons, because Russia, we have mutually assured destruction. Yeah. I can't send a bomb to Russia because Russia's going to send a bomb to me and now we're all dead.
Right.
So in a way...
Right. And of course you got North Korea over there. With the finger on the trigger.
I don't think North Korea is a weird one. I think North Korea gets a rough reputation.
Really?
Yeah.
You're down with North Korea?
I'm not down with it, but it's like every time I'm hearing the news, North Korea tests a missile. What you supposed to do with missiles? Test them. That's what you're supposed to do. Right. Is test them. Like.
Do you know that in North Korea, the penalty for having a cell phone is death?
Did you know in Singapore the penalty for having drugs is death? I'm just saying, Singapore seems like this really fun, wild country, and they have Cruising USA, the video game that drives through it, and everybody wants to check out Singapore, and if you have weed, they'll fucking hang you in public square. Right. So it's like... And to also what you always think about the jails in North Korea, America got more people in jail per capita than North Korea, I think.
Yeah, probably right.
So it's like, my point is, we test missiles all the time. Yeah. Russia tests missiles all the time. Yeah. I'm sure the UK tests missiles all the time. They want to test their missile. All of a sudden, it's a huge fucking deal.
It's a huge fucking deal. Well, I know you got to go, man. Thank you for coming in.
Look, I work with them on Mad. Good guys. Good heart, good guys. Give you the shirt off their back. Is it ironic? Is it a coincidence that most of their friends are white and got white wives? They like white women? I mean.
Then they develop envy because they go home. They get out the car with their friend, with their other partner, and he listening to your music. They walk in the house. They girl listening to your music. They go downstairs, the kids doing a dance to your music. Now they are hypnotized with hatred.